Good afternoon. I'm Anthony Irwin, Senior Lakers Insider for Offside and for Odyssey, and lead content creator also for Odyssey. And today on the show, a show that is recorded or being recorded a little bit later in the day, obviously, than you guys are used to getting this. I've been toying around, frankly, with the notion of when to release certain types of content. YouTube's algorithm is very different from podcasting, and kind of figure if you're going to take in one or the other, if you're going to listen to the podcast, you would do so either way. I still am always going to try to have stuff for you guys' morning commute in podcast form at the very least. But as far as the YouTube page here, that is where algorithms rule. So we gotta try to work around those things as well. But anyway, today on the show, we're going to be talking about a very good weekend here for the Lakers, and frankly, a really good start overall for our Los Angeles Lakers. They currently sit at 5-2. They are one game up, albeit very early in the season, but one game up nonetheless in the Pacific Division. They currently sit in the 3 seed in the West. And look, these seating, positioning, and all that stuff, that's going to matter all the way through, and keeping pace or setting a pace in some cases in say the division. That stuff is going to matter. So we're going to be talking about this really good start that the Lakers are off to, capped off most recently by the last couple of games where the Lakers went and beat Memphis so thoroughly, and Ja Morant looked so down and out that eventually he got suspended by his team. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about last night's Miami Heat game. We'll talk about this game upcoming later tonight when the Lakers, on the second night of a back-to-back, will be playing in Portland, a team that already beat them. So we'll talk about all of that and get you guys out of here, and prep you for what should be, I think, a pretty good game. And then hopefully, while I am on the air, we'll get some more information on the availability of some key guys. So hang tight, buckle in, whatever cliche you want. Let's get on going. A quick reminder, please do hit that subscribe button wherever it is you guys are watching right now. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are watching and you've already subscribed, hit that like button. If you guys have already done both of those things, hit that copy link button and share that thing to some of your friends. So do all that stuff. And then if you guys are listening to this in podcast form, please hit subscribe wherever it is that you get your podcast, preferably on Odyssey, because you know what? I am a company man. All right, let's go ahead and dive on in. Starting with a successful weekend, the Lakers first beat Memphis on Friday. And yeah, I just want to make sure I have this correct. Friday on Halloween, they beat the Memphis Grizzlies 117-112, and did so thoroughly, and had the Grizzlies so sad about how that game went, and then more specifically, Ja Morant's effort, that Ja Morant eventually got suspended by his team. He had some interesting quotes after the game when he was asked about his lackluster play, and he gave maybe not the best answer, right? Said that maybe the coaching staff thinks it's best if he doesn't play. Apparently, Memphis agreed, and they had him sit for another game after that. But in that game, Luka set the pace with 44 points and was tremendous. And then, he has been basically tremendous from throughout. Austin Reaves led the way from a plus-minus perspective. He tied in that regard with Jackson Hayes. DeAndre Ayton made a little bit of news in that one as his back spasms kept him out of the game, and then kept him out of the game against Miami as well. So obviously a situation to keep an eye on there. Then for the Lakers, also you had Rui Hachimura. He scored his 9 points. Marcus Smart scored his dozen. Reaves scored 21. Laravia scored 13. Laravia has been on a bit of a tear, frankly, recently, and he's playing in a way that I am really, I'll talk to Raj about it later tonight after we get together after tonight's game. I'm starting to think really long, and like I was already talking about it after last night's game and then slept on it and woke up thinking about it and now sound like a sicko. But I'm really starting to think that Laravia makes a lot of sense for the Lakers as their fifth starter. If they're going to stick with this identity of offense first, spacing first, if they're going to do that, I would probably play Laravia or start Laravia over Rui. Um, but we'll see, what decisions JJ Redick eventually comes to. And it was funny because I was hearing a little bit of buzz. I always heard over the summer that Rui was going to be the starter when the season started. But it was kind of interesting. One of the things that I was kind of hearing was like, this Laravia guy, he looks really, really good. And that he started the season kind of slowly. I think was kind of taking his time, not taking his time, but it was taking some time for him to get acclimated and get comfortable enough with this new team, with his new teammates to operate with the green light that the Lakers want him to operate with. And now that he looks pretty good. So we'll keep an eye on that there. And then for the second game of the weekend on last night, the Lakers beat the Miami Heat, a team albeit that was playing without Norm Powell. Powell apparently is going to return tonight against the Clippers, so that was kind of interesting, or that will be kind of interesting. And then Tyler Hero is obviously still out for Miami with that as he recovers from off-season foot surgery, if I'm remembering correctly. The Lakers, if Miami Heat fans want to get salty about who is or is not available in their games, well, the Lakers were playing without LeBron. So the Lakers were also missing Ayton in that game. I would say it was from a health standpoint, we'll just call it a wash, right? And in terms of the guys that were available, I thought the Lakers were clearly the better team out there. They were creating the better looks. Austin Reaves and Luka Doncic both shot pretty poorly, especially from three, and yet the Lakers were still able to play at a level or be at a level of comfort that Bronny could actually get out there and play closing minutes. Um, don't quite agree with that decision. Now, there was some kind of speculation that maybe Bronny got those closing minutes so that Marcus Smart and Rui Hachimura would maybe be a little bit fresher heading into tonight's game. Whatever it is, or whatever, or why ever the decision was made, is kind of neither here nor there. It was an interesting decision, and it worked out. Lakers were able to close out those final minutes and pick up the win anyway. And look, in a game like that where you're missing one of your stars in LeBron, and then your other two stars shoot really poorly from three, for the Lakers to go out there and still win as comfortably as they did really kind of speaks to, this team might be pretty good. Now, it also could be that Miami is also very mediocre, but they've been playing good basketball going into that game, and especially with a system that has really kind of been kind of difficult for teams to deal with. So, big weekend here for the Lakers, and again, a continuation of a very, very important start. I want to take a look at the Lakers' schedule to this point and, just kind of highlight how important it was for the Lakers to get off to a good start. So, obviously, they lose opening night to Golden State. Then they go to Minnesota and pick up a win there. Then they go, or no, then they play Minnesota at home. Sorry. They pick up a win against Minnesota at home. And then they pick up a win in Sacramento. Then they lose against Portland at home. Then they win in Minnesota. That was a huge win there for the Lakers without Luka. And then Memphis, he comes back and apparently he is John Morant is 1-11 against Luka teams over the last few years. So that was kind of a funny stat. And then the Lakers win last night 130-120 over Miami. Their upcoming games, they have Portland in tonight, obviously, in Portland. And then they have San Antonio Wednesday. That is a home game. Then Saturday they play in Atlanta, and the following Monday they play in Charlotte. So let's see, they've played 7 games so far. Atlanta will be the 10th game of the season. And if the Lakers are able to like sit at 7-3, 10 games in, that is a very solid pace. Without LeBron James, for a few games without Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton has been in and out of the lineup. Jackson Hayes missed a game here and there. Marcus Smart has missed a couple of games. Like, given everything that the Lakers have been kind of dealing with, 7-3, and with the, in all likelihood being at or near their division and on the upper half of playoff seeding, to where they would have home court if the playoffs started right now. Obviously, they would not, but still, like, keeping pace in the West with everything that has been kind of going on with the Lakers. Again, I didn't love the approach to preseason and the approach to training camp and stuff like that. And they didn't feel like they got the reps that they were hoping to get in that amount of time. Everything that they go through there, they come out of it and they could sit at 7-3, maybe even 8-2 after 10 games. That would be an impressive feat. That would be a hell of an opening. Now, you do have some work still, right? Like, you got to beat Portland. It would be nice to split those games against Portland, even though this is on the second night of a back-to-back. You got to beat, one of San Antonio or Atlanta. San Antonio opened their season 5-0, picked up their first loss of the season, I think yesterday. And then Atlanta has been kind of a weird team. They have some injuries. Trae Young is not available. Atlanta currently sits at 3-4. So that should be like the Lakers. Basically, they have 3 winnable games in front of them right now, and you would like to win 2 of the 3. If you can sweep the 3, even better. And getting off to this start, and especially given, remember, the season started with Shams basically reporting to ESPN that, like, yeah, LeBron's really going to be keeping a close eye on this team and see if this is actually the situation for him. So you go from all of that nonsense, and then you arrive here where you could be 8-2 after the first 10 games. And after those first 10 games, that would be November 8th. You would then be about maybe like a week or 2 away from LeBron coming back. Those games would be, again, Charlotte would be the 11th game of the season. At Oklahoma City would be the 12th one. So that's going to be a tough one. New Orleans sucks, so that should be a win there. Playing at Milwaukee the following night is going to be a tough one. And then you have a home and home basically against Utah, where you play against Utah at home, and then you play in Utah on some Sunday, November 23rd. And around that time is when, according to reports, that LeBron is kind of hoping to make his return. And if the Lakers can be well above 500 whenever LeBron makes his return, and I talked after last night's game about LeBron maybe kind of noticing some things here. It's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out, and if the Lakers are able, like, they've already done more than stay afloat to this point in the season. So that in enough, right? Like that right there is already a success story. Then you add to that, these next few games, and then the week and a half, maybe couple of weeks after that, and some of the games that the Lakers have there, and they will have, despite everything, taken advantage of this kind of softer early slate. So here's hoping that they're able to do that. All right, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is tonight's game. They play in Portland tonight, again, on the second night of a back-to-back. Now, Portland is an interesting squad, obviously, because you have all of the guys who can present ball pressure. You have Matisse Thybulle, who gave Austin Reaves some Toumani Camara, who gave Austin some problems last time these two teams played. Austin, remember, had 8 turnovers in that game. And then you have Drew Holiday, right, who's one of the better on-ball defenders that the league has ever seen over the course of his career. Now, fortunately, tonight the Lakers should have Luka Doncic available. I believe they're going to have Marcus Smart also available, though it wouldn't surprise me if they held him out on the second night of a back-to-back. So long as they have Luka and Austin to be able to handle the ball pressure there, that would be really helpful. And then we'll see on DeAndre Ayton. The thing with back spasms is like you just never really know when they're going to strike again. So we'll see if he's going to be available here tonight. For Portland, they did lose Matisse Thybulle. He needed, I believe, some kind of like hand surgery that will keep him out. Yeah, he had surgery on his left thumb, according to ESPN here. Uh, Thibault was a big part of the pressuring defense that they were able to play against the Lakers. So not having him obviously is going to matter. But overall, I think this is a game that, if Ayton is able to play, remember the last time the Lakers didn't have Jackson Hayes. They didn't have half their roster against Portland the last time these two teams played, and it was still a close game. So this should be a game that the Lakers should win, so long as they get a couple of those guys back that they didn't have in the first matchup. And if they are able to pick it up, that means that you get that much closer to that 10-game mark and could potentially sit 7-3, 8-2. That'd be great. All right, that is going to do it here for this episode of the Lakers Lowdown podcast. New look Lakers Lowdown podcast. Been toying around with the look of this show. It looked a little boring before. I wanted to add a little bit more pizzazz to it. So let me know what you guys think about that. And until the next time you guys hear from me, which is going to be tonight, right after the game with Raj, I'm Anthony Irwin saying have a great rest of your day. Make somebody else's. And I will talk to you guys in a few hours. Have a good one, everybody.